Hi, my name is Mike Rugnetta. I am the writer and host of the PBS Idea Channel. It is a show where we apply philosophical and critical concepts to things in the popular culture canon. I promise it's a lot more interesting than the elevator pitch makes it sound. We settled on our show format after a very long process of pilots and many conversations. So there were two things that maybe indicated that Idea Channel had a future. The first thing was very early on, we made a video about Hello Kitty, and that video ended up in a lean-back video series that Michael Stevens from Vsauce made.
Besides being cute, might Hello Kitty also be an early ignition of minimalism in our entertainment? Well, one of PBS's new channels, Idea Channel, takes a look at this very phenomenon.
Getting that kind of recognition from a major YouTuber who really liked the video and said that he was excited about seeing more from us really helped my confidence level as far as, knowing that we were doing something right. And then maybe about 6 or 9 months later, I was in a bar and a dude came up to me and bought me a drink. And I was so confused about why this person I had never met before decided to spend $6 on me, and it turned out he was a big fan of the show. And that, even to this day, it blows my mind that someone would do that for me for making a thing that I love making anyways. It seems unfair, if I'm being honest. The most important thing for me is that I'm having a good time. The comparison that I always make is when you go and see a band and you don't know the band and you don't know their music, but they're having a really, really good time up on stage, you kind of can't help but also have a good time. And I feel that way about online video as well, that when someone is clearly having an awesome time making their thing, even if I don't know them, even if I'm not on board with the premise or the subject matter, I can still find a way in through their excitement. And so that is the thing that I put in the number one most important slot, that I am talking about something that I am really excited to talk about. And I think, I like to think, I hope that comes through. I'm inspired by all kinds of YouTubers. Michael, Jake, and Kevin from Vsauce. I think the fact that they are able to produce the kinds of videos that they do every single week is just mind-blowing to me. I think that Emily Grassley at The Brain Scoop, everything she does is so incredibly interesting. I can only hope to be a 5% as smart as she is. John and Hank's devotion to their community is just humbling and also terrifying. I don't know how they do it. And if I can somehow figure out how to embody even part of those YouTubers' practice and do it in Idea Channel, that will be, I think, a massive success. If I had all the money in the world to make whatever video I wanted, I think that I would probably hire really amazing researchers and academics to put together an introduction to media studies. I would love to make a really intense but entertaining, well put together, responsible series about how to study media, why studying media is important, why the humanities are important, why culture is worth studying, and why all of those things are just as important to understand as biology and chemistry and physics and STEM and all of the other sciences. Coming up with ideas for Idea Channel is a constant process. My feeling about creativity is a really weird one, which is that you kind of are just you always have to be thinking about what you're making, and that you can't wait for inspiration to strike, and that you actually can just sit down and make creative decisions, but you also have to live in this world where you're constantly open to material. Because if you're not open to ideas and material and communication, then when you sit down to be creative, you have nothing to draw from. So I'm constantly reading, always watching things, always looking at stuff, trying to just be open to the world. I know it sounds really, really cheesy. When it's time to come up with episode ideas, it's a process of sitting down at my desk or my kitchen table and staring at a piece of paper and listing out qualities of things that I have seen or things that I have watched or listened to, and trying to connect them to philosophical or critical ideas that are in reading that I have been doing. So I'm always, I always have some really nerdy book on my person, and then just going through it with Morgan and Andrew and talking it through and making sure it makes sense, and then doing an outline and seeing if that makes sense, and then talking it through with Morgan and Andrew again. And it's just this constant, I call it turning the wheel. You just always have to be turning the wheel. And it might reduce creativity to what seems like a brute force process, but I think once you get over the romantic nature of creativity, being creative becomes so much easier.